We are clear. Take out your 17C-1, your worksheet, and let me see what you got. Also grab your red writing utensil we're going to be using in a moment.
You sound like a parrot. Also, parrot. Thank you. Mr. Falcon, there is a raccoon, and it was really mean, and it growls.
Where is this?
It was in the air conditioner thing in sister's room, but then Father Ron got it down.
Like recently?
Yeah, like today.
Today? Oh, I thought it was like last year we had a raccoon. Okay.
And that's how it comes.
Okay.
But then if you drink,
Well, I imagine it was scared out of its mind too. Alright.
Okay, so curtains yesterday, since I did curtains,
I don't know why.
there was one that just didn't run down inside. The curtains were just open, we were running around backstage. And then there was two times, I closed it in the middle, so they were singing, I just closed it, and they're like, I'm like, sorry guys.
You should have work on the back page, by the way, even if you work in groups.
I have to like,
I'd rather not, thank you.
what you doing? Hi.
Hello. All right. Is that thing running? Somebody check.
Yes,
Okay. If it's a great big red number. All right. Grab your red writing utensil. Let's check these things out. 17C-3. Oops, I didn't. Hang on a second. So it is 17C-1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it's gonna go great.
There it is. All right, here we go. Number 1. Everybody set?
Yeah.
Writing utensil in hand?
Yeah.
Ready to use?
I do.
Facing all the way front?
No.
Thank you. Zoom this in so I don't have to squint.
Okay.
Here we go. Number 1, R is equal to -5. The 8th term is -156,250. -156,250. And the formula is a sub n equals 2 parentheses -5 to the n minus 1 power. Okay. It was -156,250. Let me double check and make sure this thing didn't regenerate. Is the first digit, the first term 2,
Yeah.
and the other one is -10?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
R is -5, but.
R is -5, correct. Question?
Is it okay if we did a to the a sub 8 and then to the a minus 1 for the
Oh, you did like 2 parentheses -5 to the
8 minus 1?
to the 8 minus 1?
But we did a sub 8.
Oh, a sub 8? What did I say?
You said a sub n and then to the n minus 1, but we did a sub 8 to the 8 minus 1.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. As a general rule,
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
pick it up, please. The explicit formula is basically the formula for a sub n. So whenever on the test, I'll just say, give me the formula for the nth term, which will be a little more clear. The explicit formula should be a sub n is equal to blah, blah, blah to the n minus 1. I'll let it go for now.
Let what go?
Some people have written a sub 8 equals 2 parentheses -5 to the 8 minus 1
Oh, yeah, I did.
as the explicit formula.
Oh, so it's fine, let's go.
Substitute n's for 8s, and that'll fix it. Quick question.
Well, I got it.
Wait, so don't you just do 8 minus 1 and then it's 7? The power of 7, right?
To actually calculate it, yeah, they were talking about the formula. Like, they wanted to give you the like, they wanted to prove a sub n equals blah, blah, blah. So there are three parts to this answer. R equals -5, then the eighth term is -156,250, and then the third part is a sub n equals 2, parentheses, -5 to the n minus 1. Okay. Number 2, the, let me get this door.
Whoa!
Relax. By the way, don't rock, please. Just lean over on the other side of the chair. Number 2. No, you may not. Too busy. Number 2, R equals 4. A sub 8 is -16384.
Negative what?
-16384. The explicit formula is a sub n equals -1, parentheses 4 to the n minus 1. And it repeats up number 2.
No.
Number 3, R is equal to -4. Brendan, you're making noise, please don't. A sub 8 is 65536, 65,536. And then a sub n equals -4, parentheses, -4 to the n minus 1. Yeah. The eighth term? Yeah, common ratio is R equals -4. Oh, for 2, sorry. Common ratio is R equals 4. And a sub 8 was -16,384. And
What was the A sub 8 for 3?
number 3 was for number 8. Wow, I cannot talk today. A sub 8 for number 3, 65536. And it repeats up number 3. And hold the conversations till later. Number 4, R is equal to -6. The eighth term is 6 digits, 839808. 839808. And the formula for a sub n is -3, parentheses, -6 to the n minus 1. And it repeats up to number 4. Number 5, not geometric, so you didn't have to do anything. Number 6, R equals 6. The eighth term, a sub 8, equals, it's 6 digits and it's negative. -839808. Which is interesting because it's the exact negative of number 4.
Let's go.
That's kind of a coincidence. The a sub n is -3, parentheses, 6 to the power of n minus 1. Okay. Number 7, R is equal to -2. A sub 8 equals -128. And again, I would have gotten the formula first. And then the formula was, hang on a second. It should have been, wow, 1, parentheses, -2 to the n minus 1. They computed that up, omission there. And it repeats to number 7. Okay, number 8, common ratio R equals 6. A sub 8 is a -6-digit number, -559872. -559872. And a sub n equals -2, parentheses, 6 to the n minus 1. Yeah.
Is it okay if you put the comma after the name? Like,
Like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The question is, do you have to use a comma when you're doing 10,000s, 100,000s, and things like that? Not absolutely. It's a convenience for the people who are reading, but sometimes if you're doing a list of numbers, the commas can actually just get in the way. Yeah. Actually, the computer didn't. It just did the 6 digits without commas.
So what happened?
I don't know what you're asking.
I was asking what you were saying.
What what I just said, you mean?
Yeah.
When you write a 6-digit number, normally you write a comma.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Number 9, add up the first 6 digits, negative 26660.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Add,
See, Matt is
Question.
evil.
add the first 6 digits.
Number
my
9.
gosh. I had no clue what that meant.
Number 9. N equals 6 means add up the first 6 digits. Find S6. That was in the notes from yesterday.
It says
8.
N equals
What?
And
Give me the first digit. What's the first term? Are you looking at number 9?
Jinx.
Wow. Hang on a second. There's one other place I can look. Yeah, this thing just regenerated it.
Wow, that's bad.
That's bad. Hang on. So number 8? A 9 rather? Oh, okay. Does it start with negative 2, minus 4, and minus 8, minus 16?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God I have a copy. Okay. It should be negative 5, 10. Is that better?
Negative
This thing's possessed. The 666 should have tipped me off. Number 10. Alright, that was my fault. Number 10. Making sure. Does it say negative 1 minus 6 minus 36? Oh, okay, good. The answer is a negative 5-digit number. Negative 55987.
55987.
Correct. That was for number 10. Any repeats up to number 10? Number 11. Less noise, more listening. You're still. It's a negative 5-digit number for number 11. Negative 21845. Negative 21845. Number 12. It's a negative 4-digit number. Negative 3279. Any repeats there?
What was 11?
11 was negative 21845. Anybody else? Up to number 12. All right, jump to number 13. Tell me the number of terms. N equals 13, N equals 4.
Huh? Wait, where are, oh.
Number 13, N equals 4. Number 14, N equals 6. Number 15, N equals 5. Number 16, N equals 4. Any repeats? And 15 was N equals 5. Any other repeats on the whole thing? Speak now, purple repeats. All right. Get a few seconds to get yourselves organized.
Oh my gosh.
Now look at questions.
I need to remember 9, 10, 11.
Don't throw things at me, Maria. Already should be.
All right.
You still want to do this too?
I should be
And then he moves them.
set. Questions? You might want to tune in if you have any questions, otherwise you're going to miss the train. No questions at all? Go. Number 9.
Dear Maria. Terrible.
Negative 2 minus 4 minus 8 minus 16, blah, 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 and n equals 8. They're looking for S8. The formula for the nth sum for geometric is what? Go. A1,
I forgot.
parentheses, and it'll be a fraction.
1 minus r to n over 1 minus r.
Right. The top and bottom are almost clones. Just there's an r to the nth power on top, not just plain old r. Okay? So it should look like this. A1, which by the way is what?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. By the way, I'm going to do this. Add the opposite, add the opposite, add the opposite. It'll be easier to recognize stuff. So it's negative 2, parentheses, 1 minus something over 1 minus something. Can anybody tell me what they're multiplying by? Brent?
2.
R is 2.
I'll go put it back.
Everybody see why?
Yeah.
You can always just divide and find that. Shh, look up here. There's too much chit chat. Watch up here, otherwise you're gonna get lost. Now look, for this is the value of n. So you put that here. 2 to the 8th power, and this is just plain old 2. So that's the setup of this problem. Once you get that, the rest of it's downhill. Is there anything we can simplify right away? Jeff? Like, what's the easiest thing in here to simplify? Like, we could do it in our head or on paper. Yeah, the bottom. What is 1 minus 2? Good. So we now have -2. By the way, what happens when you divide by -1?
It's negative now.
It just turns negative.
at the top.
So what's -2 times -1?
I never knew that.
You can just write it as 2. These negatives cancel. And then it's going to be, this is just 1 on the bottom, so what do you do? That's not going to do anything. 1 minus what? What is 2 to the 8th? Now you can grab a calculator or do it in your head if you want.
I don't know.
256.
256. Right? So what's the new top? What is this?
Negative
Near Jeffrey. Close. This is positive. They fight each other. Negative 255. Good. It's 2 times negative 255. The 1 doesn't do anything, so you can ignore it. Multiply. What do you get?
Negative 510.
Negative 510 is your answer.
Oh my gosh, how did I not get that?
I think those were
Oh.
Right. 11. Careful. What's going on?
I'm just switching chairs.
Why?
Because this one is, it has like something sitting out that keeps catching my laser.
That's a nice.
Let me know if it's that big of a deal. I might have to fix. Number 11? Okay. Look over here, please. I'm hearing way too much extra noise in here. Just a moment, please. Let me just write this down. Number 11. -1 minus 4 minus 16 minus 64, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to change these to add the opposite, add the opposite, add the opposite. Okay, yeah, question. Okay, if you're done with it, put it on my desk.
Well,
If
can
you're
I
not
have
done
it?
with it, hang on to it. till the end.
Can I have it? Stop, can I have it?
Remember what we said about extra talking? Brenda, it's your captain for a while. So, somebody tell me the value of R. Eric, help me out here. What are they multiplying by? 4, correct. R is equal to 4. On number 11, they're looking for n equals 8. So they're looking for S8. So what comes first? Travis, help me out with this one. What's the very first thing you should write? -1, good. And then we're going to have a fraction. Do the top part.
1 minus
You're correct. 4 to
4
the 8th over
1 minus
1 minus 4. That's the setup of the problem. Does that make sense? Catherine, take over. Is there an easy thing we could simplify?
1 minus 4.
Yeah, what is 1 minus 4? -3. So we have so far is -1 parentheses 1 minus 4 to the 8th, which I'm going to ask about in a minute, over -3. What is 4 to the 8th? Grab your calculators.
65536.
65536.
Yeah, that's what you say.
-1 parentheses 1 minus 65536. I'm curious if anybody finds there's kind of a trick to this. That's an enormous number, but this is actually not a hard problem to do.
It's negative 65535.
Yeah, first of all, I add the opposite. So it's -1 times -65535 over -3. So question, does 3 go into 65535? What do you think? Yes.
Yes.
How do you know?
Because you add
Without
them.
even trying the calculator. By the way, you could do that. But how do you know 3 goes into it?
You
There's a
add
test.
them. You add
Add
like all
what?
the numbers.
Yeah.
And then you see if it's divisible by 3.
What's 5 plus 5 plus 5?
What?
15.
15.
Plus 3?
18.
18. Plus 6?
22.
24.
24.
Does 3 go into 24?
Yes.
You got a winner. So the negatives cancel.
Divide by what?
3.
Oh,
Go ahead and just punch it in. You can do it by hand if you want. Yeah.
With my calculator, I got negative 21845.3 repeating.
Ooh. What do you have on top?
Like, that's what I have. Like,
65535 divided by 3. I got 21845.
that is weird.
That's probably a typo. That's what happens when I get answers like that. If you take your answer and multiply it by 3, it'll go back to the number you actually typed in. Does that make sense? Where do you have decimal wise?
What?
Where do you have decimal wise again?
0.3 repeating.
The whole thing. 2, 1. What was your whole answer? Oh, I see. Like if I had 21844.3 repeating, just multiply that by 3, and then that'll be the number that was originally typed in. That's usually how I catch my typos. Give me the final answer. It's not too hard at this point.
Oh,
Anyway.
negative 21845.
Yeah, negative 21845. That's it. That make sense? Next. Any others you want to see? I was expecting questions on 13 through 16. But if there aren't, if you're just knocking them out of the park, so be it, which is wonderful. But if you have any questions on those, I'm more than happy to get them. Go.
Can you do number 8?
Number 8, yeah. Let me scroll back. Yes, those are the ones I was expecting too. They give you these two terms in the middle of nowhere. Does everybody have these, first of all? Yeah, questions?
Yeah, so on the test, will you write the formula for the nth term instead of like the explicit?
Oh, I will not use the words explicit formula. I'll just say find the nth term formula, yeah. It should be easy to recognize. So up here, number 8, you said, Kevin? Okay. A5, now be careful, they wrote these backwards. I'm gonna write them in the proper order.
Oh, yeah.
A2 is equal to negative 12. A5 is equal to negative 2592. They wanted to make sure you were paying attention. How do you do it if they didn't even give you A1? They want you to add up, or they want you to find the 8th term, I think. How do you find, what's the formula for a sub n? Just in general, for geometric. Go.
A to the 1. Wait for geometric.
Yeah, geometric, just the
times
term.
R
R to the,
and minus 1.
exactly. That's how you find the nth term, not the sum, which was the second half of the book. Yeah, go for it, straight back. Now, there are 2 ways you can find missing terms. I'll show you the sort of common sense way, and then I'll show you another way for people. There are some people who just like formulas. I'll show you a formula way just in case you like it. Question, here's sort of the common sense way. How many jumps is this? Rob, take over.
Nothing.
Where?
How many jumps from here to here?
Oh.
3. There are 3 jumps. Are we adding or multiplying?
Catch.
Multiplying. How do you know? What gave it away? It's geometric. So we're doing, what letter do you use for geometric? R. So it's basically R times R times R. Remember, you're multiplying for geometric. Focus up here.
Okay.
Focus up here for this. Everybody. It's equal to what? What did you multiply by to go from negative 12 to negative 2592? Feel free to grab a calculator on this one. This is, I mean, again, most people in here could do this with long division, but time is of the essence on the test. So grab a calculator and tell me what you get.
6.
I'm sorry, what?
6.
It's bigger than that.
It's
217.
This thing divided by this
Oh.
is what?
217.
217?
Yeah.
216 sounds better. So what is r times r times r? R cubed. So r to the third power is 216. You can either take the cube root if you know how to do it on a calculator, or you can start guessing and checking. What is it? Oh, cube root. Depends. You know where you have the power key?
Yeah.
If you have my key, you'll have to do the second button, then that same key.
What? Oh.
Then you'll have to type the number first. You'll have to type the number 3, then do that that weird root thing, and then type 216, and that's your work.
Okay.
It's 6, by the way. Yeah.
See, I knew it was 6. Oh.
Guess and check is fine, especially when you have really high powers. The answer must be really low, so you probably won't have to guess very much. And there will be round numbers for the test. Everybody right so far?
Wait. Yeah, I'm alright.
Now that we have r equals 6, you can fill this in.
It is
So a sub n is equal to,
72.
what's the first term?
That didn't make any sense.
Did they tell us the first term?
Yeah, it is 72.
No.
But you can.
They did not tell us the first term. Ever see why? Listen. They told us the second term and the fifth term. They didn't tell us the first. Can you find the first term?
Yes.
How?
Divide negative 12 by 6.
Yeah, you remember we're multiplying by 6? Go back one step. Hey, go back in time. Divide by 6, and what do you get? Negative 2. That's what you need for this formula. Negative 2 parentheses 6 to the n minus 1. Now you can find, first of all, you needed that. That was the third part of your answer. But now you can use that to find any term you want, including the 8th term, which is what they wanted. So do a8 equal to negative 2 times 6 to the 8 minus 1. See what you get. Now 8 minus 1 is just 7. Question of math people. This is a potential place to get wrong answers. Look up here.
Okay.
Do you do multiply first or exponent first?
Do we want to 1040?
Let me ask again. Focus. Do you multiply first or exponent first?
Exponent.
Exponent. Order of operation says to do the exponent. Do not do negative 2 times 6 is negative 12 and then take negative 12 to the 7th power. It will be wrong. Let me see. Andy, take over. How do you do this?
6 to the 7th power?
Yeah, 6 to the 7th power. Do you have a calculator?
No.
Actually, go ahead and grab that again.
Yeah, why did you do that?
Tell me what 6 to the 7th power is. Do that first.
279,936.
Yes. Now times negative 2. Or times 2 and just pretend it's negative. I don't care.
Negative 559,872.
There you go. That's how you do it. So a little detective work
Wait,
on
what did
7 and
you-
8. First you have to find r. That's this stuff.
Oh,
Second,
I have.
reconstruct the formula. So this one, you know how they asked for the 8th term and then asked for the formula? I would deliberately do the formula first,
Okay.
because then you can find the 8th term a lot more easily. There is another way to get the 8th term, since it's so small. You see where A5 is? How much is each jump multiplied by?
R.
Which is
6.
6. Times 6, times 6, times 6. And I apologize for the Antichrist number coming again. But
Yeah, okay.
you can just multiply it by 6 by 6 by
That's out
6,
evil.
and you should get
So you shouldn't have it,
that.
because this is a whole school.
Right. Any other questions? Now's your chance to ask any last questions.
Oh, can you do 10?
Don't. She had her hand raised. Go.
Can you do 13?
13, and then I'll go back to 10. 13 looks like this. Determine the number of terms. Everybody look up here? Did everybody get on number 11, by the way?
Wait, yeah.
That was from before. The number of terms, you need to know the formulas for sum and for term. They said that A1, this is number 13, A1 is equal to negative 4, and R is equal to negative 4. That's just a coincidence, they're not usually the same. And then S sub n is equal to 204. So they added up an unknown number of terms and got that as an answer. They want to know how many terms did they use. The only way we know how to do this use this formula. If you look up here, that's it, Chad. It's going to be A1, parentheses, 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. Plug in what you have. Yeah, right back. So S sub n is equal to, actually, do we have an answer for S sub n? 204. Plug that in. 204. See where I plug that in? Equals, yeah, Ugolini, take over. What do I put here? Yeah, -4 is the first term, and then keep going.
1 minus 4,
Almost.
negative
1 minus -4 in parentheses to the n power over.
1 minus negative.
Good. Now, how do you solve for n? It's an algebra problem now. Andy, take over.
You divide by -4.
Okay. That's true. There's something we can simplify first, though.
You can do the 1 minus -4.
What is that really?
1 plus 4.
Yeah, which is
5.
5. Good. Now, can I cancel these two negatives? Maybe look up here to see one. Can I make this 1 plus 4?
You could, if you want to.
No.
What's
you have
wrong?
to do the n first.
Yeah, do exponents before you multiply. If I did cancel these and I did 1 plus 4 to the whatever, I'd get the wrong answer. So here, now try it. Andy, take over. What would you get rid of first?
The negative.
Definitely. How?
By dividing by negative.
Divide both sides by -4. Do it. And again, at this point, feel free to use a calculator just for speed. You could probably do this in your head. Almost. -51 equals, it's going to be 1 minus -4 to the n over 5. Still with me? Okay, Eric, take over.
Multiply both sides by
What's the problem? And please don't go tossing our notes. Keep them away. Thank you. Go ahead. I want to get in by itself.
You multiply both sides by 5.
Correct. Multiply both sides by 5. What do you get? Over here.
264.
-255.
5.
Good. Equals, these cancel. 1 minus -4 to the n. So, Mary, take over. Subtract 1. You cannot get this out of the way yet. What's -255 minus negative, or minus 1?
Or 256.
Yeah. Equals negative, parentheses, -4 to the n.
Divide by -1.
Divide by -1. There's a 1 hiding here. Let me write it up here. So we've got 256 equals what? -4 to the n. At this point, you might want to start guessing and check. Can anybody tell me anything about the value of n? Just given the answer we have? What kind of number does n have?
Even.
It has to be even. So I would not guess 1, 3, 5, or 7. And it's not going to be that big. 4 to the whatever power gets really big really fast. Any candidates? Try 2.
wait.
What's -4 squared?
Oh, never mind.
16, so
4.
it's too small, but that's a good idea. Try 4. Can we
No,
type in,
it's not.
what's 4 to the 4th power?
It's negative, oh wait, it's 2 plus.
Got it.
I knew it.
N equals 4. At that point, just guess and check.
Mrs. Minardi asked to see Marie.
Oh, what?
Mrs. Minardi asked to see her.
Oh, just now?
Yeah.
Where was I?
When I went down.
Oh, okay. Like, did you walk in and I just completely ignored? Okay. No, you're fine. Go ahead, Maria. You're good.
It's recording.
Okay.
I think she.
Any last questions?
Oh,
This whole thing.
10.
10. Let me see if I can do it fast. Okay. Number 10 looks like this. We've got -1 plus -6 plus -36 plus -216 plus blah, blah, blah. Brennan, you tell me. What's
Yep.
R?
R equals -1. No, well, 6.
6. Correct. What's a sub 1?
-1.
Good. That should be all you need for that. And they said n is equal to 7. So it should be S sub 7 is A1, parentheses 1 minus 6 to the 7th over 1 minus 6. Simplify that and you're done.
Ladies in red.
I'm getting a little tired of the interruptions. Whatever's distracting you, put it away and keep it away. Okay? I'm serious. You ask a question, I don't have to answer it, especially if you're not gonna listen. Understand what I'm saying? If nobody's interested, then I shouldn't waste my time. I like to do this, but not if people are gonna ignore it. Calculate. 1 minus 6 is negative 5. So you're gonna have 6 to the 7th power, let me just type that in real fast, it's big. 279,936. Over negative 5. The top is going to be negative 279,935 over negative 5. And that divides out evenly. Divide by 5. 55987. So this is going to be negative 1 times positive 55987. Final answer? Make it negative. Negative 55987. That is all the time I have for this. So put that away, take out your notes. John, quick question.
Can I go to the bathroom really quick?
Yeah, very back, yes.
Thank you.
Anybody need to copy that down, number 10? Once, twice. All right. I want to give you a teaser on the last topic of the chapter. We've been talking about that chart at the beginning. The chart looked like, I forget whether I think I had 3 rows. For arithmetic, geometric. So we had A sub n formulas, we had S sub n formulas, and then S infinity formulas, which we had not gotten to yet. That's the topic for today. Can anybody give me the nth term for an arithmetic? Go.
A to the n equals A1 plus D n minus 1, parentheses n minus 1.
Yeah, somebody down that? I'll just leave the A sub n for both of them. What's the geometric nth term? Tress.
A n equals A1 times parentheses R to the n minus 1.
Correct. The A sub n, that's when you see the n minus 1 showing up, because that's counting the number of jumps. S sub n, a little bit different. Jack, what's the arithmetic S sub n formula? Also known as Carl Gauss's formula.
Sn equals n over 2
And number 2.
times t1 plus t1.
Yeah, I did A, but T is fine. A1 plus AN, or you could do T1 plus TN. Yeah, we both like to do that. Okay. How about the geometric sum? We just played with that yesterday and today. Let me see. Go.
A1 parentheses R minus R to the n
1 minus R to the n?
over 1 minus R.
Exactly. Okay. Good news and bad news. The infinite sum formula, there isn't one for arithmetic.
Let's go.
In other words, if you have an arithmetic sequence, you'll always get either infinity or negative infinity or 0 or unknown. There's no way to get a reliable number every single time. The only, if you have 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, it's arithmetic, but it's boring. And if you have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, you're gonna have infinity if you go forever. If you go negative 1 plus negative 2 plus negative 3 forever, you get negative infinity. So you're not gonna get anything that really makes sense. Geometric, on the other hand, there are examples. We did that 1 plus a half plus a fourth plus an eighth. Please put do this away. watch this, S infinity for a geometric catch or warning. This only works. I'm going to ask about the symbol. Whoops, yeah. What's this mean? Yeah, what do those bars mean?
Wait a second, it means an absolute value.
Absolute value. What does absolute value mean?
It's positive.
What does absolute value mean?
It's how far it is from zero.
The distance from zero, correct. In other words, if the absolute value of r is less than 1, what that means is r is small. It's a fraction.
Oh.
And it's not a lopsided fraction. It's a regular fraction like 2/3 or 1/4. Something small. If it were r equals 5, doesn't work. If r equals 1, it doesn't work. R equals 0.9, that works. It only works if you have a very small value of r. And the other piece of semi-good news is, you see the formula for the sum you already had? Watch this. It's almost identical. One thing you actually just throw away. You notice what I did?
The R.
The r to the nth power. It's gone. It's just erased. There's actually a reason for that. Pretend, so it's sort of like, why did r to the n disappear? Well, you remember, see this is infinity? What's the value of n in this case? Infinity. I mean, you go forever. You have an infinite number of terms. So what happens if n is huge, huge, huge? If n is going toward infinity, so basically n is huge, like enormous, nobody can measure it. What happens, grab your calculators, I want you to see something. What happens when you take 1/2 and raise it to a huge, huge power?
It becomes,
Yeah,
I have a different question.
okay, go ahead.
It
Answer.
becomes like huge.
It becomes tiny. Watch this. Let me just go part way. 1/2 to the 100th power. Actually, you know how to do this. How do you raise a fraction to a power?
Oh,
Yeah.
you do both of them.
Do both of them. 1 to the 100th over 2 to the 100th.
1 over 500 trillion.
What's the top?
1,
1 over,
yeah, 5 trillion 9,000.
it's way bigger. 2 to the power of 100 might be able to be held on a calculator. I think it'll hold it. 2 to the power of 100. Yeah, barely. I got this. 1 point, I'm just curious if anyone remembers what this means. 1.26 blah blah blah
Scientific notation.
times 10 to the 30th power. You know what that is?
Yes.
Big or small number? Yeah, big. This is basically 1 followed by 30 zeros. It's enormous. It's bigger than a trillion, bigger than a quadrillion, bigger than a quintillion. It keeps going. It's very, very big. What do you think it would be as a decimal? Take 1 divided by an enormous number. What kind of answer would you get? Yeah. Very, very small. Is tiny. If you take an r to a huge power, if the r is small, the answer is going to be microscopically tiny. Guess what happens if you raise n all the way to infinity? What happens to your answer?
It becomes infinity.
Infinity's big.
Oh, it becomes tiny.
Guess what it becomes?
0.
It
I
becomes
knew
0.
it was 0.
As n goes to infinity, r to the n goes to 0, which is why this thing disappears. In other words, this thing got so tiny, it just disappeared off the radar. That's why all you have is this. So it's actually an easier formula for an infinite sum. Let's try it.
Mr. Goffin,
Yes, question.
are we gonna have to know that, like, why did the
No, that was just like, in case you forget the formula, you might be able to figure it out from here. It's just erase this, and it's nice to know why. So let's try it. You remember the example we did before? It was 1 plus a half plus a fourth plus an eighth plus a 16th plus blah 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 blah. And I want to know what that equals. Quick question.
Is that an exclamation point after one? Is that like the one?
That was just, no, it's not the funky one on the computer. That was like dramatic.
Oh.
I'll just do this. That was just, that actually was me shouting it. Something like that. What about this thing? Arithmetic, geometric, or neither?
Arithmetic.
Arithmetic means you're adding the same.
Geometric.
Geometric. Prove it. What's the value of R?
R equals.
What are you multiplying by to go over and over and over and over? Yeah. 0.5, 1/2. So you've got the first term. A1 is 1. And you've got R. You should be able, let me just put this in. A1 parentheses 1 over 1 minus R. You should be able to get it. Let's try this. So S infinity is equal to, what do I put first? 1. Parentheses what? What do I put on top?
1.
Plain old 1. Over what?
1 minus 1 half.
1 minus a half. Well, math people, what's 1 minus a half?
It's negative 1/2.
Okay.
Negative 1, 0.5.
Negative.
Negative.
1 minus a half
1/2.
is a half.
I knew it.
How do you divide by fraction?
I don't. Oh, multiply by the reciprocal.
Multiply
Don't
by
blurt
the
it out, so I
reciprocal.
don't see your hand raised. Go, John.
Multiply by the reciprocal.
What's the reciprocal of 1 over 2?
2.
Yeah, 2. So 1, basically 1 times 2. What's the final answer?
2.
That's your answer. That's exactly what we got last time. Just as a demo, this represents 1. This represents a half. Don't horse around. Focus up here. Then you add the quarter. Then you add the eighth. Then you add the 16th. See what I'm doing? This is the half, quarter, eighth, 16th. Do you see what the answer is getting closer and closer to? 2.
It's getting closer.
You're getting
to
2, 4 on the floor, please. You're getting closer to 2 full dots. So the answer, if you went forever, you'd get to the number 2. I mean, you can't go forever, but if you could, pretend, you'd get up to 2. Question?
So if you went forever, then you'd go past 2 this weekend.
Actually, would not get past 2. It keeps getting smaller, smaller, smaller.
But wouldn't it would just like stop, so like, would it, if it's going on forever, wouldn't it have to like go on something else?
This is getting kind of abstract. No, it doesn't. Because the final answer would be exactly 2. It would never
But it
go
would
above
just
2.
keep going.
Yeah. And just like,
Well,
Well,
then
if you keep
then
going,
it can never be
think of it,
true.
well, whoa. Think of it that we only have like 30 seconds left. But can you ever go forever? No. Hypothetically, so in other words, you're going to get closer and closer. If you did it on a calculator, you'd be like 1.999, then 1.9999999, then 1.9999999999999. However far you want to go, but you'll never get past 2. You'll never actually get to 2. You'd have to go to infinity in order to get to 2.
But
And so you
infinity
can't
is
do
forever,
that.
so.
It basically says as n goes toward infinity, this thing goes closer and closer to 2. That's actually kind of a calculus problem. Because when approaching infinity is a pre-calculus calculus problem. All you have to know is that if you were to go to infinity, the answer would be 2. Questions?
No homework?
There is no homework for tomorrow. Don't get used to it. Please stand. We got to get you out of here. There will be a worksheet for tomorrow. Actually, no. I think it's going to be in the book.
Wait, no.
It's going to be the. Don't hit that yet. Don't hit that yet. Let us pray. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Do prep yourself. Thank you. See y'all later. Bye bye.